This is my 15-gallon tank trio brew house from Spike Brewing. In this video, I'll show you how this whole system works, how I have all my tubing connected, and a few tweaks I made to make this system efficient. Let's take a look. The best part of this entire system is each vessel is bottom draining. And my second favorite thing is the grain out door. So at the end of the brew day, when I'm done with the mash, I'll open up that door, scoop out all the grain, and you never have to lift any part of this system. So there's two pumps in this system. The first one is down here under the mash tun, and that's mainly for my HLT. So the HLT drains out through the bottom of the tank and then right over here to the left side of this T. And this valve controls that and isolates that path. From out of the pump, that comes up through this tube and feeds the beginning of my rim system. It is a 5.5 kilowatt electric heating element within this spool. And at the opposite ends, I have a temperature sensor to manage that temperature. And then through the other side of that T, that flows up through here, through this tubing, and then back to the top of the mash tun. I have a ball valve here to regulate the flow and a sight glass in the loop as well, so I can keep an eye on that flow when the lid's closed. So I use this same path for mash recirculation to fill my mash tun with strike water as well as sparge water. So the outlet of the mash tun comes out through this tube right here, and that's what comes over here to feed the second pump. The second pump down here is what feeds the main manifold of the brew house. This top left valve here is for my mash recirculation path. So when I open that up, fluid will flow down here to the first pump, enters the same T as my HLT water, and then that will flow back through the rim system that we just discussed. Directly below my mash recirculation valve is this sample valve. This is what I use to take samples for the brew day, pH measurements, gravity measurements, all those kind of things. Up here on the top right is my Whirlpool valve. This is the port that I use to lauter, so I transfer from the mash tun over to the boil kettle through this path, as well as Whirlpool at the end of the brew day. That flows over here through this silicone tube, up through here, and then into the Whirlpool port. The outlet of the kettle comes out through this port. The pickup arm sits near the bottom of the kettle down here, and that is where the wort exits the kettle. And that flows down through here and feeds the other side of that second pump. The last valve on here is for my knockout. After the boil, after the Whirlpool, I'll open up this, the wort will flow through here and enter my plate chiller. So this is where all the wort will cool down before it goes to my fermenter. All the fittings on my brew house are tri-clamp with the exception of my plate chiller. I like to use these quick disconnect fittings for those connections. And last but not least, I have a cross at the inlet of my second pump. And this allows me to knock out those lines when I'm ready to clean, and I can easily drain the system. So that is a tour of my system and how I move fluid throughout the brew house. In a separate video, I'm gonna show you how I clean this thing, as well as some secrets I've learned to make that process more efficient. So don't forget to subscribe. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.